They say time flies, but some memories stay locked in the desert sand forever. Welcome back to Long Story Short. I'm Bruno, and today we're kicking off a very special three-part series that I've wanted to share with you for a long time, the Desert Storm Saga. Joining me is brother-in-arms who needs no introduction, my longtime friend of 36 years, Oscar Kowalski. We served together in the 1st Infantry Division, strapped into a 70-ton M1A1 Abrams tank, right at the tip of the spear of 1st Infantry Division and 7th Corps. In this series, we're pulling back the curtain on what it was like to really be out there, from the tense staging areas to breaching the Iraqi line, and even some of the wild, humorous moments in between.
Hey, do you remember me getting arrested before we deployed?
No. By the
Yeah.
MPs?
No. By Salina Police Department.
No. Did Sweden get you out of jail?
No. So that big, tall, goofy motherfucker, I can't remember his name, the sergeant, a black dude, I can't remember their names because it's been so long, but the sergeant was our designated driver, and me and this guy got into it, this white kid, because he was saying that he couldn't wait to get to Iraq to kill people, so I got into it with him, and we were on the side of the road, and he punched me. And the cop saw, he thought it was a fight, he turned around, and he comes back over, and he talked to the three of them, and they said I was a troublemaker, because I was the one that was, like, talking shit. And even though I'm the one that got punched and they arrested me, so I had to spend the night in jail. And I remember crying to the cop, "I'm going to Desert Shield. I'm scared. And then Sergeant Sweeting came and got me the next day. And then those other three guys got reprimanded by the captain because they left me behind. They took my car and everything. I'm surprised you don't remember that. Yeah, Sergeant Sweeting came and got me out of court. But the judge, he knew I was getting deployed, and he said, "Let this man out of here right now. What's the charges?" "Oh, drunk in public, disorderly, something like that." And they dismissed the charges and just let me go.
Okay.
Yeah,
I guess I don't remember that.
Yeah, I guess it makes sense why you wouldn't.
I didn't go with Sweeting to go get you.
I'm surprised too. Yeah, Sergeant Sweeting showed up. I was like, thank God. Hey, that was probably one of the few times I was happy to see his ass. All right, so remember we were training for the breach. Remember they told us, they put the plows on our tank.
Yeah.
And okay, so this is really what I want to talk about right here before I get to start the other stuff. We had some kind of, remember we just got those Magellans.
Yeah.
Okay.
GPS.
Yeah. And so there was something wrong with our tank. I don't remember what it was, but it was maybe something wrong with the turret. I don't remember. And they said we had to go to the boneyard, and they said it's that way. So we set the Cadillacs, we set the azimuth, on the Cadillacs, and held it, and I just followed the gun tube.
Right.
So so tell me what you remember about that Bradley dug-in position that we jumped. Tell me what was so tell me what was going on inside the turret, and what was Sergeant Sweeting was doing, and what you were doing at the time. Like because we're going about 40 miles an hour. So anyway, for anyone that doesn't know, the M1A1 is capable of 50 miles per hour on a hard ball, right?
Yeah.
This is pretty hard sand, so we were going all out. I had the throttle dug, so we were going at least 40.
Right.
So tell me what led up to that.
And I were standing outside. We were standing up. I was standing up in the loader's hatch. He was standing up in the tank commander's hatch. Where were we going?
Going to the boneyard.
Why were we? Okay. So, we're just bullshitting and looking around, and then all of a sudden, the hole was like there, like too late. You couldn't see it, way ahead of time. So I just remember when we hit the edge of it, I went, "Bruno," because I was going to say, "Bruno, stop," or something. And the only thing I got out was "Bruno," and we went, and it was like in the movies. It was real slow. And then we started coming down. Sergeant Sweeting and I were floating in the air. Blam, 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 blam. we had that bulletproof vest on and then the flak jacket. So I didn't get hurt. My ribs were hitting the inside of the loader's hatch.
Yeah.
But I remember feeling kind of woozy, and we were like, what the fuck? But those dudes that ran up to us, they were like, airborne! Because they thought we did it on purpose.
They were yelling "Cowabunga, dude!" We flew over this Bradley dug-in position. The mine plows. We went up in the air. The mine plows forced the nose down. It made that wall of dirt come up over the tank. I could hear you and Sergeant Sweeting and Sergeant Coleman all, and then all the TA-50 fell out, and then those dudes come running out, and we were stopped. I don't know if we hurt the tank or not. I don't know if anything got fucked up. Maybe a torsion bar.
Did we have to fix the track or something?
I don't remember, but we were able to keep going. We picked up our shit and kept going.
No, that's true. We did. Yeah. Just like a foot lower, man, we would have been through.
Yeah, we would have been. Because when I saw
that,
but well,
we
remember
went down in the hole.
Sergeant. Okay, so maybe you don't remember, but I remember you were telling me that Sergeant Sweeting had saw. Okay, so we're going in the tank. All these infantry and Bradley soldiers, they saw us coming, and they were trying to wave us off. Well, Sergeant Sweeting looked over, and he thought they were waving, so he starts waving. Yeah, and then,
I don't remember anybody waving. I just remember all seeing a big waving. Fucking hole, and I was like, ah!
So when I saw and because I'm lower in the tank, I saw it at the last second, and I started to dip the throttle, and I was like, "Fuck it, it's too late." Like I'm an experienced tank driver, and I just gunned it.
Oh yeah,
and that's actually what saved us. I mean, we could if I would have tried to stop, we'd have been fucked.
We would have been right in there, just lollipop flop, right in the fucking hole. Then we would have got hurt.
Yeah,
because there's no airbags in that motherfucker.
Man, every piece of equipment, periscope, main gun, everything sticking out. It's like you'd be sushi in there.
That would have been a mess. Yeah, good thing you kept going fast, because we would have never made it. Made it if you didn't keep going at that speed. That hole just came out of nowhere, man. It was a trip, because I don't know. And I'm like, where the fuck were we going so fast? But the boneyard.
Because it was just all I saw was flat. Because I remember Sergeant Sweeting says, "Barry, gun it," or I don't remember how he'd say full speed, but he had some kind of way of saying it. Barry, haul ass.
Oh, really?
Haul ass.
At the last moment.
No, but just wait. When he would tell me, when he wanted me to go full throttle, he would be like, "Haul ass, Barry." Leading up to that point, remember you and I were pulling. It was getting serious now towards the breach, and so we were having to pull all night, watch, and full. I think we're at 50% capacity for guard duty. So we were using the PBS 7s. And do you remember? So you and I, because we were taking this shit serious, we were like, "Hey, man, our life's on the line now." So everybody's armed and locked and loaded. I know I was. And so you and I, we had a little trick. So when I was coming up on the tank, so I didn't surprise you coming up out of the dark. What was our call sign? What was our method?
Was it the Tookie bird? Tookie!
The ever-present Tookie bird had seen all that happened and made a beeline, or bird line, for the palatial treehouse belonging to George of the Jungle, where Ursula was washing out a few things.
Please, wait for George's opening yell. Now.
Tookie. Yeah. So it was pitch fucking dark. So I would say, if I was walking up on you, and I would go, "Ah," and then you say, "ee," and then we both go, "Tookie." Hey, but
that was good. That was good. Fucking what do you call that? Code.
Call sign, yeah.
Yeah, so then we'd know. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because a stranger would have never have known that, especially Iraqi soldier.
Oh, there was. So that's from George of the Jungle, right?
George of the Jungle.
Yeah, man.
Off the ground.
I just remembered this. Remember maybe I don't think you were with me. Maybe you were. I'm not sure. No. I got assigned to KP duty, and they put me in the deuce and a half, and we were riding, and then we're driving in the middle of the night and going to the KP area, 701st or whatever, and the truck dipped down twice. Boom, the wheels, and then
Yeah.
it turned out we crushed some forward scouts, recon.
Oh yeah.
You
Yeah.
remember that?
They were LPOP, right?
Yeah, and we crushed them, and we got out, and we had to dig. They were all buried. We dug till our fingers bled, man. We were like digging those guys out, and I remember they were all laying there. They all had broken bones. They were all crushed. None of them died, at least at the time. And I remember they were in shock, right? Because we had to unbury them. And I remember they were out, and we called Life Flight or medevac, and got them out of there. But I remember those guys were tripping, man. I bet you to this day they know we saved their life, because they're like, thank you. But I never had the heart to tell them that we were the ones that ran them over.
You were in a Humvee?
No, it was a deuce and a half.
Het? Oh, deuce and a half. They still had deuce and a halves out there. I thought we had hets.
No, we were in a deuce and a half. I remember that.
Fuck.
I remember that deuce and a half. That noise they made, yeah. But it's funny that we ran them over, then we saved them, and then took them out. They're all, thank you. And I was like, oh my God. And then my hands were so scraped up from digging them out, and then I had to go stick my hands in scalding water and do dishes on KP. It fucking sucked ass. And I was like trying to tell people, but I'm a hero. I saved these guys, right? But they didn't care. They get the fuck out of here. Do these dishes.
Right. Them immersion heaters, that was the worst, man. I can't believe nobody got sick of eating out of them mermites.
Remember, we were getting any soldier mail.
Oh yeah.
And we got a letter from a Vietnam guy he was on Bravo 33 during Vietnam.
Yeah, I remember that.
All right. So tell me what you remember from that.
Yeah, his name was Storm.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Storm was born right before we left.
You know who is Storm? Storm is your son. I just want to, because it's on YouTube. So you had a son before we left, before we deployed.
Yeah, I can't remember what day he was born. It was like the 9th of December or something. So yeah.
You don't remember when your son was born?
No.
Well, you got a bunch of kids.
I barely remember when I was born. But yeah, he was a newborn, and then we left, and then we got
you
back.
Named him, but at the time it was Desert Shield. Remember, we were going to Desert Shield.
Right, Desert Shield in the beginning. Yeah, and then it changed into Desert Storm. Yeah, that was a trip.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I thought maybe that was good luck. That way we was going to make it.
Yeah. Well, and then the Vietnam guy that wrote us, his name was Storm. It was like 3 storms.
Yeah. He was Storm, yeah.
Dude, nobody would believe that story. That's what I wanted to tell you. That is so. I know it's not like a life-altering coincidence, but naming your son Storm, going to Desert Shield, they change it to Desert Storm, and then get a letter from a guy from 40 years prior, 30 years prior, who was on our same tank, Bravo 33, on the M48 Sherman in Vietnam, and his name is Storm. Dude, that is unbelievable.
Yeah, that was a trip.
Well, look at the amount of time that hours upon days upon weeks that we were stuck inside a fucking tank together.
Sitting there.
I mean, how well do we know each other?
Spades. Oh, I know. Told all your stories.
Yeah. All right. So now the next one. So we're going through we're getting ready to go through the breach. Now, this is the most important one, okay, Oscar? So I need you to keep this camera steady a little bit for me there. Now listen. Okay. I know that we kind of remember this a little differently, but I just want to I want to line up what we do remember so I can kind of pinpoint where we were at in what happened. Because this is an important part. All right, so Now, remember, there was a guy that was shooting at James. Remember James's tank? He was on 3-2, I think, right?
Yeah.
All right. So we saw an Iraqi, a couple of Iraqis, they were shooting at him, but he was out of range. So the bullets were falling short. And James was out there like a dumbass without his CVC helmet on, brushing his teeth, had no clue. And we're like on the radio, hey, you're getting shot at, right? And then these infantry came up from behind us, and they in a 113 and hauled ass out there and dropped and got out and put the guns on them dudes, and then they threw up their guns in the air and they gave up. And it was quick and easy, over within a few minutes. Okay. So then now we're on the breach, we're getting ready to go in. We're all in the formation. We were the first tank, you and me, our tank. Bravo 3-3,
Yes.
Blade Runner. We're in the front.
Yep.
There's nobody in front of us. Just the minefields, the Constantine wire, the positions dug in from the Iraqis, and then behind us was just a sea of 7th Corps and 1st Infantry Division.
It was awesome to look behind and see all those vehicles.
And that was it, right? So here come those surrendering 7 Iraqis. And I get out of the tank and I got my light and I'm flashing at them to come get, because remember we had taken a bunch of POWs prior to that, hundreds.
Right.
I mean, we were throwing MREs to them, and then we were sending them to the back of the formation to get all these guys, right?
Right.
So then, as I'm getting these guys to surrender, they got plastic bags, they're waving it. Charlie Company over on our left thinks there's troops, and they break the rules of engagement, and they fire at me and the Iraqis. I jump back in the tank, 50 cal rounds, and then those guys jump behind some berms. And then they say, okay, we'll get them to try to come out again. And so again, I think this time I stayed in the tank, but I had the light, and I was like, hey, come on out. And they wouldn't. And then we were ordered to platoon volley in place.
Yeah. Then Sergeant Sweeney shoot the 50 cal at them.
It was a full platoon volley. We went heat rounds and full everything.
Okay.
What I remember. But do you remember the engagement? Okay, because remember I remember yelling. Me and Sergeant Sweeney were in an argument. I was like, no, like let's, like I was trying to call higher myself, but my CVC I couldn't call. And then Sergeant Sweeney shut my CVC off. It pissed me off.
He unplugged you?
He unplugged me.
Down in the driver's hatch?
No, he cut me off. He turned there's a switch up there to turn me off.
Vincent.
Yeah.
The commo in the turret. Oh, okay.
Yeah, he turned me off. He put me on silent. So I couldn't talk. So it was just him. And then they made us do that. And I remember thinking we were breaking Geneva Convention rules, right? These guys are surrendering.
Yeah.
And I just kept thinking to myself, this is one of the things that bothered me for years and years and years, is that they ordered us to do that, and then we just kill them. It was wrong. You know what I mean? Like, it was wrong.
Yeah. They could have surrendered. Captain Toro said, there's no friendlies in front of you, while we were there at that moment.
Right, but these guys are surrendering.
You can fire. Yeah. So they were going to surrender. Well, who made that call? Sweeting?
No,
everybody just
the brigade commander, the battalion commander. I don't know if it was Fontenot or I don't remember who he was talking to, but he was above Toro. He was talking to somebody above Toro.
Sweeting was?
Yeah, it was being relayed.
Had to be Fontenot.
Fontenot?
I think so. That motherfucker got a silver star, and he wasn't even nowhere where we were.
Yeah, didn't they say they were going to put us in for a silver star, right?
Yeah.
And what did we get? What did we get?
We got one.
Yeah.
Nothing?
We got an Army Combination Medal for Valor. Archon with Valor.
Okay. Didn't we get a bronze star for each campaign, something like that. 3
No.
Bronze Stars. That's what I have on my DD-214.
You got a
Maybe
Bronze
it means
Star?
something different.
No, you got an Army
There's
Combat.
3 of
You
them.
got an ARCOM with Valor.
Okay, maybe that's what it was.
Yeah. I mean, it's still a combat, relatively
Yeah.
high award. It's not a Silver Star, obviously, but it's for heroic
Oh,
action
right.
above and beyond.
Yeah, it wouldn't have mattered anyway. But then,
Yeah, I don't give
yeah,
a fuck about that shit anymore.
so they killed those guys, and but I mean, if you were out there, you didn't know what the fuck was going on. You couldn't see shit. It's fucking dark as hell.
Yeah. So
It
then
was cloudy if the moon wasn't shining.
So then once we started the campaign, then we did the breach. We went in, we shot up all those tanks. Remember, we saw those dead bodies, those guys hanging out of tanks, burned to a crisp. We saw Death
Yeah.
Highway. You remember all that?
Oh yeah. What was that name of that highway?
Death Highway.
I can't remember.
Death
That
Highway.
was when Death Highway.
We called it Death Highway.
Oh yeah, because Saddam Hussein was getting out of Kuwait. They were running out of there, and then all the fighter pilots caught him leaving on that road.
All those A-10s.
Shot them all up to hell. Fucking what?
They were
Hundreds and
all off
hundreds
the
of
side of the
vehicles.
road, just burned up. They all
Yeah.
went to a herringbone, trying to defend themselves, and they just got crisped up.
Oh yeah. Those guys look like hot dogs that fell into the coals of a barbecue.
You remember that? That's crazy, huh?
Oh yeah. Oh, the smell was in my nose for days.
Oh,
The smell of burning flesh.
Oh, yeah, man.
Yeah. And we drove, what kind they call it, the Battle of Norfolk. We drove through there after the battle, and it was just smelled like human flesh for like an hour while we drove through all that shit.